Hello! I've got another logic gate tutorial for you today. We're going to be making a turret-filled gatehouse that will trap intruders inside. So, first of all, let's have a look at what we need. Okay, so we've got our gatehouse structure here with powered doors at either end. We've got a crapload of laser turrets. We've got a laser tripwire, and we're going to be using an XOR logic gate. Now the XOR gate will only transmit power if exactly one of its inputs has power. So we've got the input side on the left in red and the output side in black on the right. And finally, we're going to be using a fusion generator as our power source. You can use whatever generator you want, but it does have to have enough power to power all of those turrets. Alright, now let's connect everything up and it'll help you to better understand exactly how this works. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is connect our power. So if you have a look here, you can see I've got these two wall pass-through conduits, one on either side. So we're going to connect those to our generator. I've put these pylons here just so we don't have wires dangling about. And down to this one. Don't worry about these conduits going around the side. That's just so we've got some lights turned on inside. It's not connected to anything else. Alright, so now we've got those two wall conduits connected to power. Let's have a look inside and I'll show you where they lead. So we've got one on this side. There's nothing attached to the top bit, but the bottom runs all the way along the floor to here. And we're going to connect this side to our laser tripwire. There you go, you can see the tripwire is now activated. Now the laser is visible, but the red light is showing, so the switch is considered to be turned off. So it's when the tripwire is actually tripped, then the switch turns green and it's considered to be turned on. Now if we have a look over this side, we've got the same thing, nothing connected to the top of this one. It just runs all the way along the floor to this side, and we're going to connect this one to the input on our logic gate. There you go, you can see the logic gate is now powered on. The green ring around the output is lit, so this is transmitting power now, and it's because exactly one input has power. We've only got one input currently, and it's directly connected to our generator, which is always going to be turned on. Okay, now we need to connect all of our turrets together. I've put some conduits on the wall here and here, just so we can connect the upper and lower turrets. And we're going to go across this side, so we've got both sides connected. Okay, so now that all of our turrets are connected to each other, we're going to connect this side to our laser tripwire, and we're going to connect this side to the input on our logic gate. Now, as you can see, the logic gate is still turned on because these turrets are not powered, so we still have exactly one input that has power, which is this one connected to our generator. So the output still has power. Alright, now the next step is to connect our two powered doors to the output on our logic gate. So one there, and you can see the door opens because the logic gate is transmitting power, and we're going to connect this door, I've got some conduits going around the wall at the top. I'm just going to put some stairs down quickly, because trying to select them when I've got so many other wires can be a bit of a hassle. There we go, that should make life easier. Okay, so get our output. There we go, and finally connect to our door. Alright, so now that one's powered up as well. Okay, so now we've got everything connected, let's see if it works. There we go, I tripped the tripwire, the door's shut, and now all of our turrets are powered up. So why did that work? Well, when we trip this switch, our laser tripwire is set to green, and therefore it will conduct power. It's connected to our turrets, so when this becomes green, they start receiving power. And then they in turn are connected to the input on our logic gate. Now we're using an XOR logic gate, so it means it will only transmit power if exactly one input has power. And now 2 of the inputs have power, the turrets and our generator, and therefore it stops transmitting power, which shuts our doors. Now also, you'll notice that the laser tripwires don't reach all the way across the width of the door, so I've clipped in a couple of these half walls just so no enemies can get around the tripwire, because raiders might be dumb, but they're maybe not that dumb. There we go, we've got our gatehouse working, which is all fine and dandy, but there is one problem. The tripwire is going to trip whenever anybody walks through it. So you're going to have traders, settlers, yourself, your companions. They're all going to trigger that switch, which is not what you want. So the way to get around that is to use a terminal. Now, if I get rid of this wire, and we're just going to plonk a terminal down here, and then connect that to the terminal, and then that to here. So the power is now connected via this terminal. Now if we come out of build mode, there we go, you can see turret control, we can just leave that. We don't need to do anything with the turrets. We want optical sensor control. And set trigger target. Trigger on hostiles. The default is trigger on anything, and we want to switch it to only trigger on hostiles. Okay, now let's see if that worked. Our laser tripwire is active. And now when I walk through it, nothing happens. So it's only going to trip now when enemies run through it. Now one other thing we need to do, we need a way to open the door from the outside once the trap has been triggered. So what we're going to do is put one of these wall switches here, connect it to power, and then to the conduit on our door. Now the door opens because this by default is set to on. Let's go in here and reset our tripwire. So now that door opens. Now what we want to do is keep this turned off. So our trap will work the way it did before. We only want to turn that on when we need to reset everything. So I've got this set to trigger on anything again. So if I run through it, you can see both doors shut. And then once we know all the enemies are dead, we can flip this on. Loot all of the bodies. Reset this. and then turn that back off, and the trap is reset. Alright, now we know our trap works, why don't we try it out on some baddies. As you can see, I've spawned a few raiders here, and I've walled them in so they can't run around the side. Now normally what you'd want to do is have a wall around your settlement with this as the only entrance. There is a problem with the way we've got things set up when it comes to multiple enemies. When the tripwire is tripped, the door will shut immediately, so if you've got several of these guys, then some of them may get stuck on the other side and the turrets aren't going to get them. Let's see if I can show you. So I'll come through to this side, and I'll turn the combat AI back on.
Oh, now it's on.
Come on, guys. There we go. So we heard the turrets do their thing, but we've still got 2 red dots on our compass there. If we open the door,
Think you're tough? Come on!
so we can see we've got these 2, but their 2 dumb little buddies are still outside.
Where'd the little bitch
Alright,
go?
chaps. Now, if that's a problem for you and you don't want that, there are a couple of ways around it. You could just make this outside door a normal door. So the trap would get triggered when they run in, that door would shut, keeping them out of your settlement. The turrets would turn on and start firing, but they can still get back out this way. The turrets would still be shooting at them as they run away screaming. The other solution is you could put this door on a delay. And the way you would do that is you would need 2 logic gates. You would need a separate logic gate for each door. So as you can see, I've put another XOR logic gate over on this side. And what we're going to do, I've put another conduit here so we can connect our generator to the input on there. And the other one goes to our turrets, which are connected through here. And then we connect our output to the door. There we go, it opens. So this door will function the way it did before, and it's not on a delay. This door, if we want to put a delay on it, we take this wire off, and we're going to put a delayed on switch here. Delayed on switch, there we go. So let's just put that there. And then we connect the turret to the delayed on switch, and then connect that to the input on our logic gate. So that will now be on a delay. We've still got our terminal hooked up to everything out here, so we can use that to set how long we want the delay to be. There we go, we've got a new option here, delay switch control. And why don't we say 5 seconds, yeah. There we go. So now that door should be on a 5-second delay. Okay, so let's see if that worked. Let's activate our tripwire. As you can see, that door shuts, turrets are on, and that one is still open, and then closes. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that and found it helpful. If there's something you'd like to build involving power and you're not quite sure how to do it, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can figure it out. If it's a really cool idea, I might even do a video on it. Please give the video a like if you liked it, maybe check out some of the other stuff on the channel. If you like what you see, think about subscribing. You can also follow me on Twitter, there's a link for that in the description. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.
Think you're tough?